Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning and welcome to TimeToPlay.com's Empower Half Hour. And this morning we're changing up our format a little bit. We haven't done an Empower Half Hour since September. And this morning I'm so excited to have Ruth Curran with me. She and Michael will assist with co-hosting the Empower Half Hour. They're both amazing, amazing people that are here as resources so we could all have a better life. So my name is Doreen Guma. I am a board-certified healthcare executive, been working in healthcare since 1987, and I am a certified professional life coach. I've gotten tired of seeing the sick and sad, and we've put together this Time to Play Foundation and resources for people to have a better life, and we're going to speak on Enjoy Life communities today. And with me again is Ruth Curran. So good morning, Ruth. You want to introduce
Doreen.
yourself
Thank
a little
you so
bit?
much. Sure. Thank you so much for allowing me to co-host with you. I am a brain and behavior specialist, and my life's work is to help people take everyday activities and make them brain activities and teach people how you can not only think better but live a better quality of life, because it's not always about memory, it's about that quality of life.
True. Absolutely, hence why Ruth is on board with us, and online with us is our most favorite makeup artist and beauty specialist in the entire world, and inspiration to many for people to be extraordinary, and that's our Michael K. Waterman. Good morning, Michael. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Doreen, and good morning, Ruth. How are you?
Morning. Great.
So we each bring different things to the table. Mine is more pensive and, how we can utilize, I have skills in quality improvement, how we can identify something that we can work together on to make things better, not for just one particular group, but for all. And that's my biggest vision and mission. We do have groups that help one type of population, single divorced women with 3 children, or, help the puppies, or help the people with autism, or help the people with Alzheimer's. But we're all in this together. So that's my vision. Michael is a 37-year makeup artist, and Michael is a 3-time suicide attempt survivor. And in his soul, he is here to help us move forward in our lives, and together we created Be Extraordinary. We'll talk about that another time. But let's get to the topic of the day.
So, Doreen, let's start a little bit with the Time to Play Foundation. I think that's a great place to start. What's really the mission of the Time to Play Foundation?
Well, the mission and purpose, and Time to Play is, of course, a 501c3 not-for-profit corporation, but the mission and purpose is to enrich the lives of others through programs, public awareness outreach activities, events, and learning opportunities that further the concept of enjoying life. And again, this is for the whole. And the Time to Play philosophy that I came up with at some point was that you have to be happy, healthy, have money, and a work-life balance to have quality of life. So on TimeToPlay.com, or if I just got this URL, which I love, is the enjoylifeproject.org, because that is what this is. It is people helping people enjoy life. There are all sorts of resources and articles for people how to be happy, healthy, have money, work-life balance. But we've done programs. We do education. We have Club Time to Play, which is learning without labeling. Because we're not a label. We're a people.
Right.
Whether you're pink or blue or green. Go ahead.
Let's back up just a little bit. And I know and I feel the contagion and your excitement, and that's what makes all of this wonderful. But I think we skipped over something that's really important, and I think that's important to the whole, that really is the cornerstone of all of this, and it's that balance. It's that balance between all of those things in your life, and how do you navigate between one and the other. The Time to Play Foundation is so about helping people find that balance in whatever form that is. TimeToPlay.com has some incredible resources for doing those kind of things. But if you could, Doreen, take those different aspects that you identified. You said you've identified these different aspects to balance. If you could take each one of those and just elaborate just a little bit about
Sure.
how those fit
No,
in.
that's probably a good idea because unfortunately, you just think everybody gets the whole thing, but it's a really, really big idea and it's a really, really big concept. So in our life, as we know, and it doesn't really matter what age we are, we're very involved in the day-to-day, and we lose what is like the backbone of our life. Maybe we become overwhelmed, maybe, and we're not in our present day. And I even, I catch myself all the time to bring myself back to, oh my goodness, what's important. But the time to play philosophy is, again, you have to be happy, healthy, have money, and a work-life balance. So how did I come up with this idea? I've worked in healthcare, like I said, since 1987. I've worked in skilled nursing since the year of 2001. And there's nothing more tragic to me than to look in the eyes of a person who's 80 years old, who's no longer independent, who's no longer well, who no longer has that opportunity to take care of things that they might have a regret. They might have something that is unfinished in their life. And my hope is to provide people the tools and the resources and things that they could use to help them cope. So that doesn't happen.
I think you bring up a really good point. I think you bring up a really good point there too, Doreen. When you look into somebody's eyes and you see that and you feel it and you want to make that difference, it changes you. It changes your perspective, and it changes that desire to move from, wow, let me get pulled into, all of this horrible stuff that's happening in this person's life, to what can I do about it? How can I lift people up and how can I empower them? I think that's what you and I have talked about a lot about, going forward with this radio show, is talking to people who inspire people to live a good quality of life. And how do we do that? And how do we spread that message? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but go ahead.
No, that's why Michael is very important and why Michael is with us too. And we did write a book called If I Knew Then What I Know Now. It's on timetoplay.com. You could go and see, and there's a sample read on there and everything. But it's something that I really hope, and doing, again, quality improvement for most of my life, you look at a root cause. You look at what you could do to make things better, because no matter how amazing anybody's life is, there's still an opportunity for it to even be better, to stop and smell the roses, maybe sometimes more than we do, to notice a little thing, to give a person a helping hand, But happy is something that, oh my gosh, is probably the most important, and that's why I did the life coach certification, not really necessarily to do one-to-one life coaching, but to give me more insight, because this way I can pass along things. But if we're not happy, and I just learned, which is very interesting, I went to a suicide prevention conference, positive thinking is the third most important preventative thing we can do for suicide prevention.
Say that again.
Sure. Positive thinking, hence happiness, right? Because that kind of goes hand in hand. Positive thinking is the third most important preventative thing we can do for suicide prevention.
That's big. That is so huge.
True.
That's huge. So when we look at the Time to Play mission, the Enjoy Life, people helping people enjoy life, we're a solution here. Mm-hmm. We're a huge solution. And everybody, this is the key, every single one of us, has a gift, has an ability that nobody else has, and has something that they can offer to help somebody else. My vision for Time to Play and the Time to Play Foundation is that everybody can be part of this. And in the Enjoy Life community, which we will talk about, there is Enjoy Life ambassadors. And each of us is an Enjoy Life ambassador, not only for ourselves so we can enjoy life, but to push it forward. Here we are spread. I mean, this is such a huge. I don't know how to explain. Do you know what I'm trying to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Potential.
So let's
Having
talk
worked
about
with you for 2 years, I see such a change in positive energy coming, and I'm glad that things have expanded to the extent that they have now.
With no doubt. So we have health, and I did actually write in the book, Grandma always said, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything, and truly, it's not a lie. One of the most vivid, when you have these things emblazoned in your mind, like a vision that I see, is I will never forget there was a man, he was young, I would say he was probably in his 60s, who apparently had diabetes and had a double amputation, and he was in a wheelchair, and he wheeled to the front of the nursing home, looking out the window because he was no longer able to be independent. So with health, and I am a New York State Department of Health Diabetes Prevention Counselor, I know people who are listening are probably like, what the hell is this woman is like a psycho? She's got like all this crap. But it's true. The more education I can do, the more I could learn, the more I could pass along. So diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is preventable. It's a lifestyle disease. And, there's so many little teeny things that we could do in our life to proactively prevent, and that's what Time to Play is. It's proactive prevention. It's what can you do to make that change? What small thing, because realistically, a lot of times all it is a teeny tiny thing, can we do to be happy, healthy, have money, work-life balance? And as far as have money, we have debates over this all the time. No money doesn't buy happiness, but all of us can attest to needing to eat and pay our rent. And one of the things that we have had, or I have wanted to reinstate in a big way, and if anybody listening is a HR, human resources person, a person who can help with job searches, a person who can help with career, that's something that I need to establish on the website, because many of us hate what we do, but it pays the bills, and that's not a good way to live. Or hate what we do and it doesn't pay the bills. My son is 23. He lives in Queens. We have this discussion all the time about the jobs. Like, he works as a takeout. He works in a place in Manhattan that does takeout. He hates what he does. It kind of pays the bills, and it's extremely exhausting to go to a place that is displeasing to you on a day-to-day basis. And Michael could attest to that. We've had many.
But he's also going back. He's also in school still, isn't he?
Oh, yes, he is still in college, yeah.
Right.
But it's
right
tough,
now, this job is a means to an end. That's all. He's going to go on to much better things. And I know what you were going to say about me. Yeah, for 9 years I worked with people that it was a job that I liked doing what I do since I'm a makeup artist, where I was doing it. And the energy that was around us was all depressing and angry, and not a place where people really, and the clients as well as the employees, felt, oh my God, this is a terrible, this energy is terrible. And it stemmed from the beginning, from the management. They were angry, and they were, how do I say it? They took everybody for granted, not only the employees, but the clients. It was a sense of entitlement, a sense of, well, you're lucky that I'm presenting myself to you, or that you're able to come here and do this. And many employees left because they were like, I'm not going to take this anymore. And I was one of them. And having left, I made a major change in my life to do much better.
Right. And this is one of the things that we're working towards, to empower people to identify that this is, sometimes we don't even realize we're in that situation, and hope that we can, with the resources for a better life and the people helping people concept, re-empower a person to say, hey, you know what, I can enjoy where I work. People are at work longer than they are anywhere else in their day. And the Enjoy Life community concept can actually be implemented in a corporation, which is something that we can offer through the Time to Play Foundation. And last but not least is, of course, work-life balance. And anybody that can help a business, and whoever's listening out there that this is resonating with them, if you're an accountant, if you're a business coach, call us, email us, info@timetoplay.com, or the phone number 631-331-2675. That's to my office. You will always be able to reach us. One of my biggest pet peeves is trying to reach somebody and they don't have contact information. And, put it into perspective, all of us start somewhere. Every single one of us has started somewhere, is starting somewhere. Maybe we're big and we're a big celebrity now, but it's a sin to not, to my opinion, have a contact information. And I can understand somebody might be inundated with tons and tons of people trying to contact them. But at what point do we forget where we came from? And at what point do we forget that we should help other people live their dreams?
And that's a good segue into the Enjoy Life communities. So the Time to Play Foundation has a first big project, and that's starting this prototype. Starting this prototype for an Enjoy Life community, which you've kind of touched on here and there. So let's talk about that just a bit. What is, if you see one overarching goal for the Enjoy Life community, what's that one overarching goal?
It's looking at the positive, and that's why I was saying about the statistics for suicide and how, not statistics for suicide, but, the preventive. And we in our society focus on negative. We look at the news every day, and it is the worst thing. Like, they find the worst stories ever. You can't even, in my mind, I can't rationalize that there's not one good thing happening somewhere, and that's just not something that's focused on or in our news. So
how does the Enjoy Life community do that differently? How does the Enjoy Life community reframe this conversation and take the negative and turn it positive?
Well, the goal of the Enjoy Life community is to bring all community organizations, groups, and businesses together to focus on the needs of the community as a whole, not to focus on the problems, to encourage everyone to get involved, to spread the news of the good works in the community through the groups and the people that are currently doing the good works, to eliminate hopelessness people feel, to eliminate thinking they're powerless, to encourage people to believe that together, again, people helping people to enjoy life, they can achieve anything, not to duplicate things that are already being done in a community. So the concept is, this is micro, and for people that don't understand what that might mean, is it's micro meaning the specific community. So, Ruth, since you're in California, what is your city is what?
San Diego, right?
Okay, and next to San Diego is what?
All kinds of stuff. Are you talking Los Angeles?
Yeah, like different cities. So like you would have like a different community. So like here we have Port Jefferson Station, we have Center Reach, we have Coram, we have Mount Sinai, we have Selden. Like, so each individual city, each individual little community. Now our community is not little, we're in Brookhaven Town, so we have 500,000 people that live here. But in Brookhaven Town, there's many different communities. So each community has their own individual needs and own individual issues. So what my vision is with the Enjoy Life Community Project is each of these communities would have their own Enjoy Life community. In my small community, there are 52 organizations. Nobody knows what each organization is doing. So the people at, let's say, the Knights of Columbus or the Rotary or the Lions Club or the fire department, we have volunteer fire department, or the church or the temple or the Chamber of Commerce or the Civic Association, there's no one way of communicating across all of these channels. And each of these groups works independently of each other. So you know how it is when you have a group, like usually there's 3 people that volunteer for each thing, and they're the people that run everything. This vision is prior to all of these different community groups. Now on timetoplay.com or the Enjoy Life project.org website, we do have an Enjoy Life community thing programmed in. Now, this just was announced on the 28th of October, so it's a very, very new project, but it is programmed in there. Portest Station is there as an example because that is our first Enjoy Life community. And you can go on there, and we will have the resource for our community of where you can find each of these 52 groups, for an example, and also the leadership committee of the Enjoy Life community. So you can go there and you can see what's cooking in the Enjoy Life community for our community. However, knowing that not every person who is in the community has computers, maybe they can't use computers, it also will announce and be a source of communication across the board.
So what you become as a hub is what you're saying to people. You're becoming a center, literally a center, where people can go to receive information about the different organizations that are going to be associated with your hub, your center, so that they can all interwork and create a better and stronger unity in their communities.
Exactly. People helping people enjoy life. So we have the Enjoy Life ambassadors, like I was saying, but the goal and the program is not specific to a certain population. Like, you know, we'll have different social programs that are for volunteers and they focus on youth. Well, you know what, there's a lot of people in our community that if they knew what might be needed would be part of it. Or there are other people in our community that have so many talents, like maybe they're a carpenter or maybe they're a school teacher that would volunteer to do some other stuff if they knew that there's a community need. And how do you communicate that need? So this is a micro hub for each community where a wish list can be created and people can know what they can do to pitch in. And through helping each other, we help ourselves. And the best of this Enjoy Life community idea is it's focusing on the positive. We're not going to be a neighborhood watch community or a crime awareness committee task force or a, anti-crime or drug prevention. Not that these things are things that we should veil, because everything needs to be discussed and everybody needs to feel comfortable and not feel socially isolated and not hide what they need. But if we also focus on the positive, that we're working towards enjoying life together, isn't that such a better idea? Isn't that such a better thing? And all these other things become
a better choice. It's a better choice. Right?
I mean,
I believe so.
You know, we've kind of forgotten about having quality of life. Yes, we're all watching for neighborhood watch, as you say, and we're all looking at, you know, fire prevention and all the other important things, and they are important. But it's also important to have a good time with your life, to have fun, to enjoy being alive, you know?
Absolutely.
Looking at things that are beautiful, looking at things, being part of something, interpersonal communications, talking to people, for crying out loud, so that we are not isolated. We are not one little individual living in a rock somewhere. And that's what you're saying, that you're a community, that we're not all just individuals, and that's true.
Absolutely. And, you know, I understand that, you know, you always hear, oh, we take care of our own. Like, I've heard that so many times.
We are our own, aren't we?
We are all our own, aren't we? And wouldn't that be a better thing? You know, look at what's going on in our news now and the racial disparity. At what point does somebody recognize that we are all people? And
was
we
a
all
terrible
deserve to enjoy
demonstration
life.
in Penn Station. I was coming home from work Friday night last week, and it was like, I think 900 or 1,000 people, protesters marching because of this kid that was murdered, and also the thing out in Ferguson. And, you know, the only good thing I can say is, yes, the protesters were angry, but the protesters were mixed peoples. They were white, black, Hispanic, Asian, what have you, Martian. They were all people united in anger, but at least they were working together as a group. And they weren't throwing things or whatever. They were just saying this is not acceptable, and, you know, that this has to change. And although I didn't like the fact that they were in Penn Station and, you know, it was kind of crowded and everything, I liked the idea that those people gathered together to do something to make a positive change.
So if I wanted to be an Enjoy Life ambassador, you referred to an Enjoy Life ambassador, what would that be? What would I do as an Enjoy Life ambassador? You and I have talked about being a community hugger. What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, this is the concept that kind of encompasses the whole thing. So, you know, basically it's to love where you live and to see the potential. You know, people here on Long Island, and I can't really speak to everywhere else, but, you know, you talk to people and they're like, oh, I can't wait till I retire because I'm getting out of here, and, you know, it's so expensive to live, and it's this and that, and, you know, we stop seeing the beauty or the potential, or, again, we get wrapped up, you know, and we stop seeing the potential. So, you know what? Maybe we do want to move. Maybe we do want to go someplace else. The grass is always greener, as they say, and when you get there, it's not necessarily the better option. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Who knows? But, you know, if we can embrace, we've heard of tree huggers, you know, people, environmentalists, and trying and fighting for our environment and speaking for, you know, the silent, you know, the animals or the trees or the, you know, global warming or whatever. But the concept of a community hugger, which is, you know, a term, if you go on timetoplay.com, again, if you click on Enjoy Life Communities, you'll see, and the community hugger is a term that is, I'm hoping that will stay with the Time to Play Foundation so people can find us, so that we can get them started in their own Enjoy Life community project and provide them with resources and encourage people to love where they live. That's what this is. An Enjoy Life ambassador, loving your community, working as a leader, a community leader, and every single one of us are ambassadors, Enjoy Life community ambassadors, and again, a person who could be a community hugger. And I think the positive focus of this will assist a person in becoming just that. You know, so why not make the best of your situation? Why not be a community hugger and help the community evolve instead of focusing on the crime and having the crime awareness task force? That could be under the Enjoy Life community. Maybe it's something that you're going to work towards. But maybe it also is just a piece of that, and the focus really is on, hey, this is something that we have to work on, but what can we do to make our community an Enjoy Life community? What can we do to hug our community?
You know, that's a good question. So you're pointing out all of these things that you know that are the negatives. What are some of the positives? What are some of the things that an Enjoy Life ambassador or a community hugger might do to make a difference? And I know we're running out of time. That's a huge question that I just dropped on you with 1 minute to go, right?
Well, that's pretty much our next week's discussion of implementing an Enjoy Life community program, and what is our Enjoy Life ambassadors. And basically, in a nutshell, when you have the Enjoy Life community, the leaders of the community, the people who come together from all the different organizations would create a wish list. And the Enjoy Life ambassadors are people who would help to make these things happen. And again, every single one of us who live in our communities would be an ambassador and a person able to help facilitate that and make that happen. So it's really a very simple concept. If you go on timetoplay.com and you click on Enjoy Life Community, you'll see a bigger overview. You, again, can contact us and get more information in between this week and next week. We are actually doing this, I believe, on Christmas Eve, but it's very positive and proactive. And it's an ability for us to look at 2015 with hope and change and positivity, because we're all here to enjoy life. If not,
thank you.
Now,
that was a great wrap up. Yeah.
So excellent. So I don't know. So
until next week.
You want to close this out?
Yeah. Until next week, and we will be here at the same time next week. Right, Michael?
Great. Yes. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you all have a great week.
Excellent. And again, the website is timetoplay.com, so head on over to there and check it out and learn what you need to know so you can enjoy your life. So have a great week, everyone.
Thank you all. Take care.